It seems as if the cosmos had selected you to be here, viewing this film. We will make sure all of your questions are answered. Be vigilant. A lot of people think the brain is proof that God created the universe, or that nature is great since it is such an incredible organ. This intricate network of neurons and connections isn't doing nothing. Rather, it adapts and develops alongside us. Contrary to popular belief, the brain can continue to develop new connections into adulthood. This capacity to evolve is like a generous present, much like the way we imagine God to be, forgiving and flexible, always allowing us new opportunities to learn and develop, uniting intellect, spirit, and heavenly knowledge. For a long time, many people believed that the brain was the dwelling place of the soul, the conduit between humans and God, being changed by renewing our thinking. To know God better is talked about in Romans 12:2. Is it possible that our ability to discern God's will for our lives improves in tandem with the development of our brains? If we are indeed created in God's image, then perhaps the malleability of our brains is a reflection of His own flexibility. Our brains evolve throughout our lives. Perhaps this strengthens our bond with God, allowing us to draw knowledge and direction from this bond. Change, healing, and seeking enlightenment are prominent themes in ancient religious scriptures such as the Vedas, the Torah, and the Quran. Our brain's plasticity, learning, and healing abilities seem to mesh nicely with these metaphysical concepts. Maybe, much like adjusting a radio to get a clear signal, God created the human brain to learn and heal. Having a healthy brain might make it easier to hear God's voice. It's intriguing to consider how our surroundings and decisions influence our brain function. Being near good people and away from evil influences is a common religious message. Same principle applies to our brains. Depending on our environment and the decisions we make about our religion, it can either expand or contract. A closer walk with God can be achieved via seeking wisdom, practicing patience, and loving others. These joyful experiences have a beneficial effect on our brain development, according to scientific research. This shows that our intellectual and spiritual selves are equally important on the path to knowing God. When we prioritize our mental well-being, we may experience a heightened connection to the divine, which may manifest as fresh insights, emotions, or a more solid sense of purpose. In keeping with this line of inquiry, the brain's function in making sense of our feelings and experiences opens us yet another doorway between the material and the ethereal. One way of looking at our emotional reactions to life's ups and downs is as signs from above, directing us to be more empathetic and understanding. We may use our brain's adaptability and the lessons it teaches us to grow spiritually as we face the challenges of life. Insight into the enigmas of life and our place in it can be achieved via developing a deeper familiarity with one's own emotions and self-awareness. In addition, the fact that humankind has preserved and transmitted its collective knowledge through the ages is evidence that the human brain may establish a connection with the divine. We have a better grasp of our position in the cosmos with every tale and lesson we hear. The ever-changing human brain is driving us on this common desire for understanding and belonging, which implies that it's more than an individual pursuit. It's a communal conversation with the divine. There may be a merging of our material and spiritual selves as we evolve as a species and as individuals. This may lead to a more profound understanding of our place in the cosmos and in relation to one another. Please join us by subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. The powerful power of God's words. There has always been great power in the spoken word. In the annals of time, they have fashioned entire universes, altered the trajectory of cultures, and molded the lives of countless individuals. Our emotions are intricately linked to the words we use. They have the power to mend or break, to elevate or lower, to unite or divide us. Both in our spiritual life and in our day-to-day encounters, this is true. With the power of words, we may unite with a power larger than ourselves. There was a Word, and the Word was with God, according to a well-known verse in the Bible. The fact that the Word was God demonstrates the centrality of words to many faiths, and how they have the power to alter our perceptions and beliefs. Words and deeds of kindness and love have an illuminating effect on our thoughts, drawing us closer to a greater power. However, detrimental and nasty remarks have the power to cloud our judgment and impede our spiritual growth. Words matter, whether we're speaking to ourselves or someone else. By speaking to God with love and compassion, we may strengthen our relationship with Him. What we say is important, but that's not all. The limbic system is responsible for our emotions, and these feelings are constantly evolving in response to our environment. Our level of spiritual intimacy with God can be profoundly affected by these emotions. Feeling that spiritual connection could be challenging when we're angry or disturbed. However, when we are serene and content, regardless of the challenges we face, we can experience a deeper connection to God who tends to our emotions. We can better hear God's voice speaking to us when we take the time to relax. Our emotions and the words we use to express them are interdependent. Both ancient scriptures and contemporary scientific research stress the importance of careful consideration before speaking. Never forget that the target and the speaker of harsh words are both wounded by them. Praying for direction from on high can assist us in selecting our words with care. The petition from Psalms, "Let my speech and my meditation be acceptable in thy sight," serves as a constant reminder of the intimate connection between our words, emotions, and spiritual path. We do more than merely relay facts and ideas in our regular chats and internal monologues. They're like a ballet of feelings and words, with each movement impacting our personal and spiritual journeys. Our inner lives are shaped by the words and emotions we express, just like a river carves its path across a landscape. The narratives we tell ourselves and those around us have the capacity to either unite or divide us, to facilitate comprehension or obstruct it. We are confused. Our lives are like a canvas. The words we choose to use are like brushstrokes, and the emotions we feel are like colors. Carefully selecting our words and being in tune with our emotions allows us to do more than communicate. It allows us to create a masterpiece of our lives that harmonizes with the cosmos. Both ancient wise men and contemporary psychologists acknowledge this to be true. Our emotions serve as the engine that propels our spiritual journey, while the words we choose to use shape our fate. Amidst life's intricacies, may we always keep in mind the impact that our words and feelings may have. May they illuminate our path through the shadows and point us toward a life of meaning, unity, and communion with the divine. I am astounded by the human brain. It is capable of continuous growth and change throughout life, a phenomenon known as neuroplasticity. What this demonstrates is the uniqueness of the human intellect and the capacity for growth and development. It's as if our brains are designed to develop and become nearer to God. The law of cause and effect is a guiding principle on this path. The premise that our thoughts, feelings, and actions all have consequences is central to many faiths. The way we think, feel, and behave alters our brains. Responsibility for our acts is emphasized by this legislation as well. So don't hesitate and subscribe right now. We improve ourselves and welcome God's blessings when we are loving, caring, and kind. Not to mention the rule of adaptation. It's on the topic of how our brains can adapt to new situations. As the old adage goes, belong with wise people and you will become wise yourself. Similarly, you should avoid being friends with someone who is perpetually furious. Whatever we are exposed to, whether positive or negative, may influence our thoughts and actions according to these theories. They imply that we are led by God to be an excellent company, which aids in our spiritual development. The rule of choosing follows. We are free to choose how our lives unfold, but this is of the utmost importance from a spiritual perspective. God grants us the freedom to walk in His ways or wander from Him, depending on our own desires. A spiritually rich existence is one in which we make excellent decisions. Our brains can do more than merely alter neural connections. They can actually produce brand new brain cells along the road to enlightenment. This mirrors our spiritual journey, in which we gain a deeper knowledge of God via study and experience. Exploring new subjects, whether they pertain to religion or not, demonstrates our desire to unravel the enigmas of God. Our spirits may be revitalized in the same way that our minds can develop and improve. We are able to put our past failures in the past and begin over because of God's grace and forgiveness. There are limitless opportunities for personal and spiritual growth when we combine intellectual capacity with God's grace. However, growth isn't a picnic. We must exercise caution since external influences have the power to influence our minds and spirits. When our desires aren't fulfilled, the rule of diversion suggests that we should redirect our attention to more spiritual pursuits. This suggests that when one road is closed, God may reveal other ways, each with its own set of challenges and opportunities for development. Intense events and other developmental shocks can actually promote brain growth. This is analogous to how the trials we face in life, which are ultimately authorized by God, may fortify our faith and character. The human experience is about more than just our minds. It's also about our spirits. As these rules of cause and effect, adaptability, and distraction demonstrate, the wonderful design of God is demonstrated by our brains, which are capable of adapting and have intricate workings. We can ascend to a higher spiritual plane with the aid of the divine rules that direct us. In conclusion, the concept of communicating with the divine is fascinating and plausible within the complex and expansive realm of the human mind. Insight into the brain's structure and function, its plasticity, and the power of language and emotion may hold the key to deciphering these enigmatic signals from on high. Together, the spiritual knowledge we possess and the intricate network that is our brains show us a cosmos in which science and religion may live side by side without conflict. Each adds depth and significance to the other, like dance partners in a stunning ballet. God may communicate to us in a flash of insight, a phrase that is just right, or even in the stillness that follows a tempest. All it takes is some mental and emotional tuning in order for us to pick up on these signals. Picture this. On a regular basis, we could get this heavenly communication, a new insight, a different viewpoint, and a more profound comprehension of our immediate environment and the cosmos beyond may be ours with each day's miraculous finding. Therefore, this process of opening up to divine communication is about growth. Not only listening, it's all about following the path of inner wisdom that our emotions and ideas present to us. Every moment may have a message or a lesson from the divine, and maybe this journey will help us see life in a new perspective. This investigation has the potential to alter our perspective on life by revealing that, with each stride, we are choreographed in a vast, intricate cosmic ballet by an authority much beyond our own control. In light of this, I invite you to consider these ideas and express your opinions down below.